There's this massive shift happening in our economy, a $236 billion industry that's somehow flying completely under the radar. It's called the super agent economy, and believe me, it's about to redefine how we all work.
So in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. First, we'll meet these new invisible employees. Then we'll dig into the wide open opportunity here and use something called the craft framework to see where the action is. We'll see how it's creating one-person kingdoms, face the tough reality of disruption, and wrap up with your next move. All right, so we've talked about the scale of this thing, but what exactly are we talking about here? What are these invisible employees that are powering this whole new economy?
This isn't some far-off science fiction fantasy. A venture capitalist I know was on a Zoom call recently, and get this, the majority of the attendees weren't even human. They were AI agents just sitting in, taking notes, and summarizing the meeting for their human bosses. Yeah, this is happening right now.
So what are they, really? Well, an AI agent isn't just a tool like ChatGPT. It's an AI that acts all on its own. Imagine a travel agent that doesn't just find you flight options, but actually books the best one, finds and books your hotel, rents you a car, and then builds out a whole itinerary for you, all without you lifting a finger. That's an AI agent. They are, for all practical purposes, your invisible employees. And this, right here, this really nails the key difference. AI tools, they react to what you tell them. You're the operator, pulling the levers. But AI agents, they act on their own. The perfect example is a Waymo self-driving car. It's not just reacting to your commands, it's seeing the world, planning its moves, and executing the entire drive by itself. Agents aren't just your tools, they're your teammates. Okay, so now that we're on the same page about what AI agents are, let's get to the really exciting part, the absolutely massive ground floor opportunity that they represent. Now, with all the hype, you'd think every company on Earth is using these things, right? Well, look at this data. It's pretty wild. Only 19% of companies are actually piloting AI agents. That means a staggering 81% are still just exploring, which, let's be honest, mostly means they're making slide decks about it. For entrepreneurs, for professionals, for you, this means it is absolutely day one. But here's a word of caution. Don't confuse early with slow. The speed of this change is it's hard to wrap your head around. Take AlphaZero, this AI agent from DeepMind. It started with literally zero knowledge of chess. In just 4 hours, it was better than the best human players on the planet. And in less than a day, it became a grandmaster. That's the kind of exponential power we are dealing with. And this crazy growth isn't just happening in a lab somewhere. The commercial side of this is just as mind-boggling. OpenAI alone expects to make nearly $30 billion in revenue just from its agents in the next 4 years. So yeah, this isn't some tiny niche market. This is the future of business. So where are we going to see these agents show up first? It's not just in Silicon Valley. It's in industries you would never expect. To help make sense of where they'll have the biggest impact, I use a really simple framework I call CRFT. CRAFT. It stands for 5 categories of agents: communication, research, analytics, functional, and technical. Let's just quickly break down what each of those means. First up, C is for communication agents. These are the ones handling emails, chats, scheduling meetings, and even phone calls. We're already seeing this in a huge way in customer support. For example, the company Parlo has built agents that can now handle over 80% of all customer service calls. Think about that. Next, R is for research agents. These are invaluable in any field that requires deep knowledge. A lot of law firms are already using an AI called Harvey to do super complex legal research and even draft memos. We're talking about work that used to take days, now getting done in minutes. A stands for analytics agents. These are the agents that can find the needle in the haystack, the hidden patterns in massive data sets. Starbucks uses this brilliantly. They mine all their customer data to serve you perfectly timed, personalized offers through their app, and it drives massive engagement. Then we have F for functional agents. These are perfect for managing any task that's based on rules, things like approvals, order fulfillment, and financial transactions. There's a company called Direct Mortgage that uses agents to handle loan approvals, and they've cut the time and cost by a whopping 80%. And finally, T is for technical agents. Now, this one is sort of the holy grail for a lot of folks in tech. Agents that can build software completely by themselves. Imagine an agent that can take a simple idea you have for an app, write all the code, test it for bugs, and then push it live to the App Store.
They aren't quite there yet, but because coding is a domain where you know if the answer is right or wrong, they are learning incredibly fast.
So we've seen how AI agents are totally transforming large corporations. But you know what? The biggest change, the one that I think is most profound, is how this tech empowers individuals to build absolute empires with tiny, tiny teams.
I mean, just take the story of Zach Yaragari. He's just 18 years old. He launched Kalai, an AI-powered nutrition app. And with a small global team of just 15 people, he's already reached 5 million downloads and is projecting $30 million in revenue this year. That is the incredible power of wiring fast instead of hiring fast.
But, as with any huge revolution, there is a flip side, and we have to talk about it. We have to talk about the inevitable disruption that this technology is going to bring. And this slide right here perfectly illustrates the paradox that we are living in. In the very same month, Microsoft can commit $80 billion to AI infrastructure and then lay off 9,000 employees. Capital is shifting from human labor to AI capital, and it's happening right before our eyes.
But it's not just about displacement. Every new economy reshuffles the landscape. We're already seeing the creation of entirely new roles, job titles we had literally never heard of before, like VP of AI, ML engineer, and AI workflow designer. So, with all of this change happening so fast, what's your next move? I mean, how do you position yourself to not just survive, but actually thrive in this new agent economy? I've got 3 ideas for you. First, you've got to shift your mindset from just drafting prompts to actually delegating tasks. Pick one task this weekend and find an agent to automate it. Let your curiosity be your guide. Second, as AI handles more of the repetitive work, your uniquely human skills like empathy, storytelling, critical thinking, they become more valuable than ever, so double down on them. And finally, I want you to embrace the Japanese idea of wabi-sabi. Wabi-sabi is this amazing concept about finding beauty in imperfection and impermanence. Don't let the scale of this change paralyze you with anxiety. Look, I've been experimenting with AI agents for a while now, and trust me, I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've also learned a ton. This whole thing is one giant experiment. So wherever you are, just take the next step. Because these AI agents are coming. They're smart, they're tireless, and they're basically teammates ready to be hired. And so the real question isn't if you'll work with them, it's what will you ask them to do?